Thank you, Sags. Well, it's still good morning, actually, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's a bit weird.
I was about to say good afternoon, everyone, but good morning, everyone. Well, these two, they have more in common than even they care to admit. Chelsea and Fulham are in the same London borough. They share a postcode, SW6, and they both hate QPR. They've shared a few players too down the years. Ray Wilkins, John Dempsey, Ray Lewington, Wayne Bridge, Bjarne Goldbeck, Steve Sidwell, Scott Parker, and currently Andre Schürrle, although he's not here today. A couple have managed both clubs as well, now including Premier League winner, bell ringer, tinkerman and all-round charmer, Claudio Ranieri. It's Maurizio Sarri, though, that tinkers today, and who can blame him after, quite frankly, an abysmal performance last Saturday against Tottenham. 2 changes, and out go Morata and Willian, and in come Pedro and Olivier Giroud. Kepa Arrizabalaga is the goalkeeper. He didn't have the greatest of afternoons either. Azpilicueta, David Luiz, Rudiger and Alonso making up a back 4 that will hope to try and keep out Fulham. N'Golo Conte and Mateo Kovacic help Jorginho, who was played out of the game by Dele Alli last week and kept in a box the week before against Everton. And then it's Pedro and Hazard supporting Giroud in attack. For Fulham, Claudio Ranieri only makes 1 change, and it is an enforced one because of an injury to Andre Schürrle. Sergio Rico is the goalkeeper. Christie, Dennis Adoy, Alfie Mawson and Maxime Lemarchand are the back 4. Johansson comes in alongside Chambers and Seri in the heart of midfield. Kearney and Sessegnon will support Mitrovic in attack. Claudio Ranieri, Ian, is very good, a bit like you were, at making everybody feel really good about themselves. Mitrovic, he says, is the best striker, or one of the best strikers in Europe. Sessegnon, one of the best young players I've ever worked from. Is that a tactic?
No, I think he genuinely feels that now he's seen them in person, and I can't really argue with Mitrovic's. If you look at his stats, he's got 7 goals already in a team that's letting goals in. So, you know, and when they added him last year, it gave them an unbelievable pinpoint and impetus to have a fantastic run. I feel a little bit for Jokanovic. I thought he was fantastic last season, but that's football, and in comes Ranieri. Who can argue? He finished 2nd with Chelsea and got the sack, and then he won the title with Leicester City and got the sack the following year. Sometimes you don't want to do well because you end up getting the sack down. But he's got a job on his hands now because they do leak goals.
Olivier Giroud has only scored 6 goals in his last 37 games for club and country, but is it his combination with Eden Hazard that gives him the edge today?
I think that's it. I think we've heard Hazard speak so highly of him, and it really gives Eden a lift to know that any time it comes into the man, he's such an intelligent, got an intelligent brain, and it's a football brain, and the little fella can bounce it up to him and get it back off him.
Well, just 62 hours after they finished dismantling PAOK Salonika, Chelsea are back in action again. Live on TalkSport on a day of derbies. The battle for North London later. But first, a Western. And the high noon shootout between Chelsea and Fulham, only on the home of live football. It is TalkSport. And Chelsea in royal blue with white socks, shooting from right to left, attacking the shed end in the first half. And Fulham all in white, or white up until the socks, they're black, shooting from left to right towards the Matthew Harding stand. And Cyrus Christie has picked the ball up on halfway, and he's charging towards the Chelsea goal, and he's unleashing the first shot of the game. I think it was veering wide, and it's caught by Kepa Arrizabalaga down low to his right hand side. Stefan Johansson was bursting into the box from the left side of midfield into the area and screaming for the ball, but it didn't reach him.
It's a very good break, Sam, actually. The goalie looked a bit wobbly when the Fulham goalie looked a bit wobbly when it went back to him, but they played a wonderful couple of passes and got it. Chelsea looked a little bit sloppy to start.
There's a sort of hazy fog over Stamford Bridge on what is a bright early afternoon in West London. There's a slither of sunlight just casting itself over the left side of the Chelsea half, and the haze coming from the fire cannons that we had prior to kick-off here. The referee, by the way, is Craig Pawson. Every time he's taken charge of Chelsea in a London derby, they have lost. Here's Rudiger. back to the right back, Azpilicueta. I think it's probably the only person, apart from Maurizio Sarri, who likes the idea of Conte playing in front of him.
Yeah, don't blame him.
Here is Seri in the heart of midfield for Fulham, who plays it back towards the right edge of the centre circle, down towards the near touchline of Cyrus Christie once again. He'll be interested with the Irish draw.
Sam, does that make that ref the Chelsea bogey man?
Might be.
You get bogey teams, don't you? So he's got to be the bogey man. They haven't won when he's taken the game.
In the London derbies.
Oh, in London derbies.
Mitrovic, far side the Fulham left, is being pursued by Rudiger. A little back heel by Johansson. Shifted on by Kenny and then back into midfield, picked up by Chambers, who pokes it wide. This is a good start from Fulham. Down the right they come confidently with Christie into the box. A little header which takes it through to Johansson. Dollies it up back into the area. Might have done better shooting from that range. It goes over the head of the on-rushing Sessegnon and out and away for a goal kick away to our right. But it's a bright start from the visitors.
Very, very bright start. They look confident. We spoke about Ranieri, how he makes you feel 20 foot tall when you're only 10 foot tall, and I think you can see that he's been working very, very hard on the training ground, and he's trying to boost some of their confidence. And do you know what? For a team that has shipped so many goals, they've really gone about Chelsea here, really closing them well. So,
well, in terms of derby, it is a derby in terms of proximity, but I'm not sure Chelsea fans have the same relish for Fulham as Fulham have for Chelsea. They almost look at them as sort of a little bit of a little brother, which is a bit patronising, really. Here's Conte out wide to Pedro, whose ball into the box is not great. Flipped it too close to the goalkeeper Sergio Rico, and it's gobbled up. What I'm trying to say, I suppose, is it's not Celtic Rangers.
No, it's certainly not that. But listen, you try telling these Fulham fans on the way here that it's not a derby. You tell the Chelsea fans it's not a derby. Unfortunately, Fulham haven't tasted one of these for about 5 seasons, I think, you know. So they haven't done very well in them either, have they, really? I looked at it on the way in. The last bloke to score him a winner, 1-0 at Craven Cottage, was Luis Boamorte, mate.
Yeah.
2006. I looked a yacht better then. Oh, here we
One
go.
by Conte. Seri dawdled on the ball in midfield. He runs away with the ball. The Frenchman feeds Pedro. Left side, comes inside the defender, slips it under the goalkeeper and in. 3 minutes and 40 seconds and Chelsea gets Derby Day off to the perfect start. Excellent break, inspired by that man Conte, who dispossessed Seri in midfield. He sent Pedro away down the right-hand side. He danced into the area, took the defender out of the game by shifting it inside onto his left foot under Sergio Rico, and it's Chelsea 1, Fulham 0.
That's the problem. That's their Achilles heel. They've given the ball away. They were so used to attacking and doing what they want to you last season. This is Fulham I'm obviously talking about. They give the ball away. They're so wide open because they're used to outplaying the opposition. That was far too easy. I know he's a brilliant player, but that's far too easy. Dance past Lamarchin, but what a finish. That's the difference in this level. In the Championship, the goalie might have saved it, somebody might have not put it so accurately in that bottom corner. What a player. Pedro.
150th appearance for Chelsea today, Pedro, and he's now scored more goals this season than he did in the entirety of last season. That's his 5th of the season.
Well, I've got to say, didn't he ever make that look easy? You know what I mean? He just placed that in the bottom corner. Looked like he could do that 20 times out of 20.
Did that just legitimise the idea of playing Conte further forward?
Totally.
Though, because he's won the ball back in such a dangerous area and then sprung an attack and a pass, or 3 touches later, they're in the box.
Well, we got a wonderful view here. We're almost in the gods. I lost my mum 6 months ago, and do you know what? This is the closest I feel to her. We're so high up here, you know what I mean? It's beautiful, wonderful view. And really, they're just playing 4-1-2-3. And one of the two just behind that front three is Kante. Now, he's definitely got the legs to do that. I thought he was one of the front three. Well, he's not. So it does make sense.
Big task for Fulham now, who had gone 7 Premier League games without a win until last week. They'd only taken 1 point from their last 7 away games. And they do have a poor away record. Here is, and they did start so well in the game for the first 3 minutes and 39 seconds, and then all of a sudden Chelsea robbed the ball in a dangerous position, and boy did they finish it ruthlessly.
The problem you get is you lose confidence so quickly. Everybody talks about it all week, and then you're on about this run. Here's Sessegnon, wait a minute.
Tries to play the ball into Mitrovic, the Serbian, who was beaten to it by David Luiz.
Look at their bodies back there though, Sam. You've got 7 players ratting around. They still leave their front three up, and those 7 can almost deal with whatever Fulham throw at them. It's unbelievable.
One thing Fulham did do last week, I think, which they hadn't done for a little while, was work collectively harder. They ran 117.4 kilometres altogether, which is well above the Premier League average of 108. They were different, they were more direct, less passing, more shots, more touches in the opponent box, and they started off brightly today, but can they get back into the game? That's the big question. It's not as if they don't score goals, but they half concede.
Well, they do, but they'll miss Schürrle today. Obviously, he's got 5 goals. He's a World Cup winner in his time, and he's also good enough to play for Chelsea without getting ill, eating the dodgy food.
Yeah, that was on a European qualifiers trip, actually, for Germany. He picked up some chicken. He hasn't eaten chicken since.
I don't blame him.
Here's Marcus Alonso on the left side of the Chelsea defence, up towards the halfway line. Chelsea leading by 1-0, live on TalkSport. Remember, a little bit later on today, we've got the North London derby. Arsenal against Tottenham. Here is N'Golo Kanté, wide to Pedro, and he's taken the defender Maxime Le Marchand out the game again, out to the wide right position, and Azpilicueta. And Le Marchand's done well to get back, but his clearance isn't great, and Pedro's recycled it. Chelsea still have it on the wide right position. Infield to Jorginho, who keeps things ticking over. He's the player that Spurs sat on last week. I don't know if Tottenham followed a template from Everton, but I don't know if Fulham can execute that sort of plan. I think Hazard's taken the ball out of play, or certainly that is the accusation. I'm not sure it was.
He absolutely slipped, I think. With that balance that he's got, you know, they have just been watering the pitch, I think, so. Well, it just proves he's human, put it that way.
Oh, he's human.
He's human.
Yeah, oh, he's definitely human. Yeah, he beat Cesar Azpilicueta in a game of table football last week, and he was delighted about it.
Well, this is it. It's all about being competitive. People think that, aren't they lucky? It's not. No one's lucky to be that good.
Oh, given away by Denis Odoi, and Pedro's chasing again. This time, Le Marchand comes back and covers and helps out his teammate, but that was sloppy again from the Fulham defence. You're listening to Chelsea 1, Fulham 0 on TalkSport with Just Eat, football, food, living the dream. Here on the right side, here's Callum Chambers producing a cross into the box. Rudiger stretches out a leg, took a deflection off the German, goes behind and away for the first corner of the game, and it's a corner that goes Fulham's way.
If I've got one criticism, and it's not against the boy personally, but Chambers for me has either played right back or right centre back or left centre back. He looks like a fish out of water in midfield.
Here's Johansson's cross from the corner, headed away by David Luiz, out only as far as Kearney, who'll turn, shift it onto his left foot, then come back to the centre of the pitch and give it to Johansson. The Norwegian steers it out wide towards the right, and Kearney's picked it up again, jiggles his body and then sends it infield to Seri. Back to Kearney. Deep cross, far post. Mitrovic waiting underneath it. And he looked as if he was unmarked for a moment there, Mitrovic, but the ball just wasn't strong enough to reach him. Azpilicueta did enough to put him off, and Chelsea bring the ball clear. Jorginho, Pedro, Jorginho, then up to Hazard. Goes through the gears, sends it wide into the right wing position, and Pedro's cross isn't great. And Kearney getting back to help out his defence gets there and brings it away for Fulham. And it remains 1-0.
That's my biggest concern. When Fulham do get up ahead of steam, they leave themselves so wide open. Chelsea on the counter-attack, they wouldn't have faced anything like that last season. So you almost want to sit back and let Chelsea have it, but you can't. You really can't. It's a dilemma right now.
And also Chelsea have got to desperately get back to winning ways after last week. They were unbeaten until that game against Tottenham, but start the day now 10 points behind Manchester City. Big day in the Premier League today. Here is Hazard down the right side, running at Johansson. He goes on the outside, back heel, cheeky, into Pedro, onto Kovacic. Kovacic back down the right, looking for Pedro's run, flicked away by Le Marchand, and Jorginho wins it back for Chelsea midway inside the Fulham half of the field. Tight to the touchline on the right side, Azpilicueta, then Conte, infield to Pedro, given away by Pedro, whose pass into Conte's path was just a little bit heavy, and then Conte was far too physical with the retreating Seri. A free kick's been given.
Sam, can I backpedal a little bit and try and explain what I mean about Chambers? When you're a defender, a natural defender, you know you've got the goalie behind you, the game's in front of you. When you step forward into midfield and you're asked to play there, the game's in front of you and behind you. And what he's not used to doing is knowing when and how far high he can press. Right. That's what I mean. And a fish out of water, looking like a fish out of water, he's flapping around in the bucket. You know, do I go? Should I not go? And do you know what I mean? And what you need around him then is someone to say, "Go on, get tight." It's not happening.
What you need there's more water, isn't it?
Yeah,
just flapping around.
No, but they don't do that, do they? On the boats, put them back in. You should put them back in, unless it's mackerel.
In which case, fillet it.
Fillet it.
I think you might have gone off at a tangent.
Anyway,
here.
I'm not. No, don't start me on that. I was just trying to be fair to
Callum Chambers.
He's being asked to do a job. He's a wonderful player.
I think Arsene Wenger did see him potentially as a man that could play in midfield when he was at Arsenal.
Yeah, but as one of a middle of the three, I would imagine, because you can drop back in as a centre back then.
Here is Pedro from Hazard, then back out wide to the left, and Alonso into the box, or too heavy, chose the wrong option. He needed to go near post, and he went far, and he chipped it over the top of all three Chelsea players, who like a fork had run three-pronged towards the near post.
Do you know what's amazing to me? I've been watching the Championship for quite a while. They almost looked at him as if, what are you doing? They were expecting so much of a better cross than that. Do you know what I mean? That wasn't bad. For me, that wasn't bad. But they looked at him as if, like, what? Why didn't you put it exactly where I ran?
12 minutes gone. Chelsea leading by a goal to nil. They were in front after just 4 minutes. The goal coming from Pedro. Goal number 5 for him this season. He is certainly a favourite of Maurizio Sarri, I think. Here is Alonso down the left-hand side. He's trying to run at Cyrus Christie. He's about 6 yards in from the touchline on the left side. Infield he goes to Kovacic. Kovacic moves, meanders forward, tries to play a 1-2 with Giroud. Well, that was a strong challenge by Christie on Kovacic, but Christie's come off worse, I think.
They're both hurt, I think.
I don't think it was a head injury for either of them, although the referee, Craig Pawson, is just checking that that's not the case. And they're both up now, moving again. But it was one of those balls. Giroud tossed it up into the air. Both of them can see it. They're both going to go for it full-blooded, and neither of them got it. They just got each other.
It was a meaty challenge, mate. That's all I can say. I think Fulham got to get a little bit closer, particularly when Chelsea get towards the edge of their box. You can't give them that sort of space to come off you and move and play little 1-2s. You'll get murdered. Is it me, or is it just David Luiz is so cool? He almost looks like he's got a cigar in his left hand there. You know what I mean? He plays with a cigar with a plum. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
Which is all right when you're playing against a team that hardly threaten you, but when you're playing against Tottenham Hotspur, it's probably best to put it down.
Yeah, he should have put it down and ran around. And that's harsh. I didn't mean it.
Certainly, the criticism that he faced last week. Chelsea missed a hatful of chances in their last Premier League home game against Crystal Palace. It took them a while to get cooking, really, but they're already up and underway here. And they have scored the second most goals in the Premier League this season, going into the weekend with Manchester City as the top scorers. Here's Rudiger on halfway for Chelsea, curling the ball out into the left side of the Fulham half of the field. Hazard takes it, lovely balance by him. Tried to poke it forward to Giroud, but Giroud had just run towards the near side when the ball had gone away, given away by Odoi, not for the first time, and Conte's picked it up and retrieved it, and Chelsea have won the ball high inside opposition territory. Alonso looking for Conte, who's sprinted into the box here. Odoi's got to be careful, and he is, and he shepherds the ball away from Conte by putting his body in between man and ball and allows it to run out and away for a goal kick away to our left. 15 minutes gone. You're listening to Talk Sport. If you're just joining us and you haven't heard the draw for the European Championship qualifiers of 2020, the games which will start in March and over the summer for some teams, not for England but for the other teams, and in the autumn, then I'll tell you that England have been drawn in a group with Czech Republic, so they'll have to go to Prague, to Sofia to play Bulgaria, Montenegro and Kosovo, and of course 4 of those games will be at Wembley as well. England a group of 5 teams. The Northern Ireland group has got the Netherlands and Germany in it, and Wales have got Croatia in their group. Republic of Ireland's got Switzerland and Denmark, and Scotland will have to play against Belgium and Russia amongst others. And of course we'll have loads of action from the qualifiers here on Talk Sport. And it's not long before we start our action in the FA Cup. The draw for that is over the next day or so. And the FA Cup third round, of course, that will be live on Talk Sport. We did a game last night in the FA Cup. Here is Kearney, edge of the area, lovely body swerve. Callum Chambers, edge of the box, right-footed shot straight down the throat of Arida Balaga. Now he had space on the right side for Ryan Sessegnon, who'd run across his man and was in space there, but he decided to shoot instead.
I thought it was quite a good effort. You know, he kept his head down, he struck it well, but I'm just from this wonderful vantage point we've got here, so high up, it's just a joy to watch Chelsea's shape. The movement, the constant movement of their back four when they haven't got the ball and they're pressing. They come so high up. It must feel like you've got no time whatsoever on that ball when you're a Fulham player at the moment. You know, it's really takes an awful lot of practice on that training ground. No matter how good the players are, the unit that they are in is very impressive.
Here's Alonso down the left side, beautiful pass out to him again. His cross isn't perfect. Giroud was running into the 6-yard area in between centre-backs Odoi and Mawson, and Alonso was too hefty with his ball into the box, and it flies out for a throw-in down by the corner flag on the other side of the pitch. But the first pass from right to left was sensational.
Absolutely beautiful. It was pinged almost with a zing. I love that. You know, it goes straight to the target, and Alonso's first touch and second one weren't quite as good.
Now Chelsea, I think it's quite clear that Maurizio Sarri has done a fantastic job in changing their shape, changing their modus operandi since coming in just 4 weeks before the start of the season, or 3 weeks before the start of the season. But it will still take time, won't it, for them to get to a level where they can start thinking about challenging the likes of Liverpool, Tottenham and Manchester City.
I think they're not far off. I was talking to Jason Cundy the other day, and he obviously watches them a lot more than I do, and they're not that far off. He thinks they rely too heavily on Eden Hazard, and I can understand why. But at the moment, I don't think we're seeing the best of them, because they're getting too much space now and they're taking too long on it. Do you know what I mean? Because they've already scored, they had that urgency then.
They don't need to force the issue.
And there's you got to get the balance right between playing the right pass, looking forward, playing off the front foot, or just keeping the ball. And at the moment, it's a bit of a sort of testimonial match, isn't it?
It's Chelsea 1, Fulham 0. Here's Alonso. He's seen a lot of the ball down the left side. Another cross which goes into the near post, which is dealt with by Odoi. Another hands in the air moan from Hazard that he didn't get the ball that he desired.
Well, do you know, that's signs of winners, that is. That's three he's not hit any of them with, and they're starting to lose their temper with him now.
Here is Jorginho winning it back after a mistake by David Luiz. It goes back by Kovacic to Rudiger. Tony Rudiger is on the front of the programme today here at Chelsea. Both teams supporting the Rainbow Laces campaign, which is good to see. Here's Pedro out to Marcus Alonso, into Hazard. Hazard trying to hold off Cyrus Christie. A reverse ball into Conte. First touch to Kovacic. Good football by Chelsea, edge of the area, and Kovacic exchanges with Giroud. Conte from the edge of the box cracks one, hits the defender Le Marchand, and it ricochets almost to halfway, but Chelsea win it back again. Apilicueta, did he use his hand there? The referee says no. Pedro funneling back into a defensive position, and he wins the ball.
I feel a bit for Fulham. They just passed the and then when a Fulham player had it, it was almost they had no time whatsoever. It's amazing. Not only are they supporting each other when they get the ball, but how quickly they press you when you've got it.
It was elegant, wasn't it, the way they bounced that ball between one another on the edge of the penalty area. Kovacic, Giroud.
Beautiful.
And then back to Conte on the edge of the area, who eventually tried his strike, which was blocked. Here is Rudiger. I think Maurizio Sarri was questioning the mental approach of Chelsea. Last week I went to their press conference and he was saying, I'm not sure that they're getting the right approach. They're not defending high enough from the front. They're not working hard enough. They're not on it as much as they need to be. I think they've been on it today so far.
Definitely have. I can understand what he's saying. And they've hindered his words, and they're doing exactly that. But I just think Fulham got to get a bit tighter. Do you know what I mean? I know.
Hazard has just skipped away from Chambers and beaten him once and couldn't beat him the second time. He didn't really need to. It was a little bit over-elaborate from Eden Hazard. Won by Seri, and now the Fulham fans are cheering because their team have the ball, and then Le Marchand can't keep it in on the far side, slips and kicks it into an advertising hoarding, which is advertising Beats by Dr. Dre, and I'm afraid he wasn't in the right rhythm there, was he?
I got to say, there wasn't one team last season who were able to press Fulham the way that Chelsea are. It's not just being good players, it's also at being coached very, very well.
David Luiz with a lovely ball forward towards Pedro, who tried to turn and flicked the ball beyond goalkeeper Rico, but couldn't get the connection on the ball. It was a raking pass from left side of the centre circle, right over the top of the Fulham defence. Didn't quite get into the path of Pedro, but again, they're playing out from the back here, Fulham. They've run into trouble 20 yards from their own penalty area. Chelsea got it back again. The Blue Sea is pushing them back toward their own box.
Well, that's exactly what it is. Every one of those Chelsea players is encouraging the other one to be on a front foot mode. I mean by that is they're anticipating where the ball's going to go, and they're already on their way. And they don't go in ones, they go in ones, twos, threes, fours, and there's a block of them. And if you don't get it out of that area, they're going to win it off you. It's quite amazing to see it from this high up.
Conte back to Pilicueta, then Rudiger, and then across to David Luiz, who's down the left side of the centre circle. Kovacic, questions over whether or not he's going to stay at the end of the season. I think I wonder if he's a good player, but I wonder whether or not Chelsea are a little bit overstocked in that zone.
Well, personally, I'd like to see Barkley play a little bit more, because he was doing quite well.
Injured today.
Obviously injured today, but you can't argue. And Loftus-Cheek, yeah. Or the lad should move. Do you know what I mean? We want him in an England shirt. We want to see him play every week.
And of course, we're
Kovacic is a brilliant player, I have to say. Absolutely wonderful player.
Pedro into Giroud, right side, Chelsea on the attack again. Conte switches the play from right out to the left towards Hazard, takes it down beautifully, and then tries to take on Cyrus Christie. He's right on the edge of the area, down the left side of the box. He's toying with him, sends it back to Alonso, back in field, picked up by Pedro. Alonso can't latch onto the end of it, and it's cleared away by Christie. That's
like a cat with a ball of string in it, you know what I mean? Come here, whoop whoop woo, see ya. And the closer you get to him, the more stupid he makes you look. He's lightning quick. But what about the accuracy of those cross-field passes?
Yeah, that was from Conte this time, wasn't it? That was
Conte this time, yeah. Rudiger's it too. Oh, it's unbelievable.
Kepa Arrizabalaga has the ball at his feet, away to our right-hand side. It's turned into quite a nice early afternoon in West London. Chelsea at the moment having a bit of a stroll against Fulham. I can't remember the last time that Fulham touched the ball for more than 2 passes. Here's Hazard down the left side, another cross-field ball which he takes beautifully, runs into the box, feeds Giroud. Giroud left side of the area, shoots at the goalkeeper. It comes back off Rico, hits him on the hand and goes behind. Let me give you the latest odds from Betfair. Sunday exclusive official betting partner on TalkSport. 18-1 on Chelsea now to go on and win the game. 50-1 Fulham, 13-1 the draw. You can cash out on selected single or accumulator bets to take your winnings before the end of the match. The full terms and conditions are available at betfair.com. 18+. Please gamble aware.
Wow, that's all I could say. Eden Hazard, when he's running at you, it must be terrifying. And Giroud's, no wonder they get on so well. What a fantastic run. To be fair, the big man should have done a little bit better with that, but it's an absolute joy to watch this little fella. It'd be a nightmare if you're Christie. You want Sessegnon to help you out and get back and stay here with me, mate.
If you are Chelsea, though, you feel like in this spell that they're in at the moment, where they're playing as they are in the game, they've got to take the game away from Fulham.
Yeah. I hate to say it, I think it's only a matter of time.
Well, there's usually emotion, spark and entertainment when Fulham play. There have been now 48 goals in their 13 and a quarter Premier League games this season, which is definitely the most in the Premier League, and Fulham have conceded 34 of those. Here is David Luiz. A long raking ball forward this time, which is off its mark. And no wonder Claudio Ranieri has been in deep discussion with his assistants, including Scott Parker, who I spoke to in midweek. Very much enjoying the start that he's had to life as an assistant manager in the Premier League alongside Claudio Ranieri. Of course, he's a former Chelsea player.
What a brilliant player he was as well, Sam.
Yeah.
He had his heart as big as a lion.
Yeah, great bloke as well.
Yeah, fantastic.
Really polite and erudite, intelligent man. Here is Jorginho.
Look at the whips they keep. I mean, good gracious.
Pilicueta's right on the touchline, isn't he? On the right side of the Fulham half. He's exchanged passes with Conte, got into a crossing position. He's dollied it up, and Giroud wasn't in there. And when he was eventually around the goalkeeper, there were 4 Fulham shirts back there. Sergio Rico came out, collected, and won the ball. That's good centre-forward play by Mitrovic, who won the ball high up inside the Chelsea half, but when he fed Sessegnon, he couldn't hold on to it, and it's cleared away by Chelsea.
Again, that's good pressing by Chelsea, but Look at Pedro. Wow, what a turn.
Lovely little touch, comes inside Stefan Johansson, feeds Conte, who gives it to Kovacic, who overruns it. Johansson turns, Kearney, lovely little body swerve to get away from Conte, who tackles from behind. Can't do that. Free kick.
Well, that's what he does. He messes up the game, doesn't he? Gets his foot in. But Fulham, you know, they've got some good players. They really have got some good players, and it's about trying to gain some confidence. For me, Mitrovic needs to get hold of it like he did there, and they need to take an advantage of a counter-attack, and that could ruffle Chelsea a little bit. But at the moment, it's so easy for Chelsea. You know, it's quite hard to put a finger on how you would feel if you're Fulham.
Le Marchand sends a cross into the box, deep towards the far post. Odoi heads it backwards rather than forwards, and actually I don't think he realised just how much space he was in as the ball came into the box.
Yeah, he got underneath it a little bit. Oh dear.
And then a ball forward by Cyrus Christie. The idea was right, but the execution not.
Yeah.
Flies out of play and away for a throw-in. Just explain what happened to that free kick for me.
Yeah, it just he's got underneath the ball. In other words, he's looking at it. He's trying to read it coming in. And he wasn't sure where he was, Sam, to be honest with you. Instead of trying to head it goalwards, if he'd have just knocked that down, that's probably the most bodies that Fulham have had in the box. Big Mitrovic is waiting there, but it basically come off a threepenny piece or 50 pence.
Ball's been played forward towards Hazard, who's run through the middle of the centre-backs. He's picked the ball up, trying to get away from Odoi. He's held him off well, then been wrestled to the floor. And it's going to be a free kick.
He did, I know it's a foul, but he did so well there. They were in so much trouble. Well done, Odoi, because that is little Hazard. If he'd have just got a pass off there, they would have been completely away. Well done.
Well,
he's got hold of him.
Belgian centre-back, the two compatriots getting close to one another there. He had to hold him off, didn't he? Because there was no way that Fulham weren't going to get in serious trouble if he'd escaped.
Oh, if he'd have wriggled free there, mate.
Lovely ball over the top, and Hazard was sprinting through the middle, and Odoi had to do his job, and he just about did that. And now David Luiz is lining up a free kick from the best part of 30 yards, working it out. It's probably a little bit short of that. It's a 27, maybe 28. But David Luiz has taken a good 6 strides back, hair blowing in the wind over his face, his hands down by his side. He runs straight up to the ball, hits it, flicks it straight into the wall, takes a deflection, goes out on the near side, and Christie can't stop it from going for a corner to Chelsea. It's their first corner of the game. Now, there is some suggestion that it may well be that Fulham are going to make an early substitution here. We'll look at that and see if that develops. Here's Jorginho just outside the area, cross into the box, misses everyone in blue. David Luiz moaning about it, Giroud moaning about it, and it goes out of play and away for a goal kick. Now, just going back to what we were saying earlier on, Chelsea, at the moment, completely in command of this football match. I mean, to say they are bossing it is the biggest understatement that I think we could probably come up with. If you look at the statistics, 71% possession, 3 shots on goal, 2 on target. They've just picked up their first corner of the game, so it's one apiece in that regard. But they certainly just are bossing this game. But it's only 1-0. And if Fulham now make a tactical change, get themselves sorted out, and end up scoring an equaliser here, I mean, that's going to be criminal that Chelsea haven't gone on and pressed the advantage in the match.
Well, this is the joy of football, really. It's a game of chess on grass. Now, if you don't take your chances, Crystal Palace yesterday, I've never heard a game like it. They had so many chances, yet they were still only 1-0 up for the vast majority of the game. You've got to kill teams off. And really, you feel that Chelsea, I said it's only a matter of time, but it would be better if they do it now. Because I'm telling you, it takes one little slip, one little lapse of concentration, and anything can happen. And
defensively, Chelsea have had their issues. They had them last week. Yeah. Sarri says he won't blame the defenders. He wants to pressurise further up the pitch and win the ball higher. The midfielders didn't defend well enough for him, was his assessment in the game. Yeah. But ultimately, you know, sometimes Chelsea look a little bit vulnerable at the back, and they haven't looked incredibly secure even in this game. There has been a goal in the game in Scotland. Hearts lead Rangers by 1-0. Gareth McCauley own goal has put Hearts in front in that big game in Scotland, and it came just moments after a huge chance for Alfredo Morelos, the Rangers striker. He missed that, and Hearts went up the other end and scored, which is not good for Steven Gerrard. 31 minutes on the clock. Chelsea 1, Fulham 0 on TalkSport on a day of live football, which is wall to wall here on TalkSport. A little bit later on, over for North London, we've got the North London derby between Arsenal and Spurs. Tomorrow night, West Brom take on Brentford in the EFL Championship over on TalkSport 2. Build up from 6 o'clock. Tuesday and Wednesday, round the grounds in the Premier League, and more action on Friday. Aston Villa going to West Brom on 2. Here's the free kick left side. Ball sent over towards this near touchline. It's picked up on the right side by Adoy, loses it, goes out of play and away for a throw-in. In fact, it goes up for a goal kick.
See, that's one thing as a ex-manager, the last thing you want. You get an opportunity to put Chelsea under pressure, and someone stood in an offside position from the free kick. Absolutely ridiculous.
Bristol City Millwall, by the way. I know you'll be interested in that one today.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
2 of your old teams.
Yeah.
1:30, TalkSport 2.
No, City weren't my old team.
No, you're Rovers,
I
aren't
was
you?
Rovers, yeah. I'll be falling out on the way out now, mate.
Aren't you,
honestly, you could have said a worse thing to me.
Secretly a fan, though, aren't you?
No. I like them very, very much.
Here is...
no, I'm very proud of being Bristolian, and we need 2 teams, but unfortunately I like the blue and white one rather than the red one.
32
and
they're
not that, I'm not that popular with them. No.
Really?
No, they got a very horrible little song they sing about me, but never mind.
Have they? That's all right.
I quite agree with it, really, but there you go.
That's what rivalry's all about.
It is. That is.
We love a derby on TalkSport, and we've got another one for you a little bit later on. It might be more fiercely competitive than this one, because at the moment there's only one team in it. Certainly one team that are threatening to go on and take 3 points, and that's Chelsea. They've scored their 1,000th home goal in the Premier League today, courtesy of Pedro, and it took them just 3 minutes and 40 seconds to do it. They've hardly given the ball away since then. Here's Mitrovic down the right side looking for Sessegnon. They've given the ball away with far too much regularity. If you're Claudio Ranieri, what do you do? Yeah,
I think I can see he's been talking about defensive situations, and they're in a bit of turmoil at the moment because they got up, famously I would say, with a style, Jukanovic, and they basically outplayed you. They used to dominate possession. I think they're missing McDonald. I must admit he was a huge part of that midfield
it's been injured,
engine. And you couldn't get the ball off the midfield 3. Johansson, Kearney and McDonald, and the 2 full-backs they didn't have Christie then, they had Ryan Fredericks and Sessegnon. They used to bomb forward like wingers, so you're not going to be able to do that in this division. I tried it with Blackpool and we failed, but you can't change your style. Unfortunately, right now they've got a new manager in, and it looks to me that they're a little bit shell-shocked against the quality of the opposition. You're taking on Chelsea, who have had a great start to the season, apart from the last couple of games.
Jenny, this is good from him, running towards the edge of the box. He's still going. He's taken on 4 or 5 here. Kept hold of the ball well. Found Seri. Down the left side on the overlap is Johansson into the box. He pulls the ball through the area. Blocked by Apilikueta. Out for a corner. That's better from Fulham. And they were given a spark of life by the dazzling Tom Kearney on the edge of the area, who was just not going to give up the ghost.
Fantastic. You don't want to. He was trying to wriggle to get his left foot a sighted goal. You don't want to give him that, but that's the first time Fulham have had the ball. They've passed it quite well. Hopefully they'll gain a bit of confidence now.
Here's the corner in towards the near post. Not a great delivery. Away by Kovacic, and then further clear by Hazard. Jorginho has it now. Draws the foul from Dennis Adoy, and the free kick
watch out
in front of the 18-yard box, and they blocked it there. Fulham, they had to. Probably illegally, but they had to, because Hazard and Giroud had sprinted almost over the halfway line.
Did you see how quickly they saw that? Deary me.
It was like 2 greyhounds that had been released from the traps early, and they were off and running, weren't they?
They were there. They smelt blood and they were off.
And it was stopped by a bit of illegal activity by the Fulham forwards, and boy, was it the right thing to do.
Half the time in this level, it's the speed of the opposition's thought that beats you. The top players, they're thinking way ahead, 2 or 3 or 4 passes even ahead of the opposition. They're anticipating their move, and that's why it looks so beautiful and so simple.
Hazard down the right for Chelsea, taking on Johansson, getting towards the right angle of the Fulham penalty area. He flips the ball through the box. He thought there was a handball there. Play on, said the referee. Hazard again. trying to get to the edge of the box once more, pushed by Johansson, but then turns the ball out to Conte. Then Azpilicueta onto Hazard again. He's in a tight area on the right side, being watched by Seri, trying to take on the Frenchman, who does well, robs him of the ball, gives it to Le Marchand, who almost tried to give it back, and then manages to chip it up towards Mitrovic, who did well to chest it, but was being pressurised by Rudiger. Chelsea defended that situation well and get it back to Arrizabalaga.
Brilliant defending from Rudiger. He doesn't look that strong, but he must be wiry, because to move Mitrovic like that, the immovable object, is no mean feat.
Oh, that's a crossfield ball by Alonso, who hasn't had the best of starts to the game, which put Azpilicueta in trouble, but Christie's put them in more trouble here for giving the ball away to Giroud. He tried to toss it up towards Kovacic, who's in the area now. Le Marchand with a dodgy challenge, but he got away with it. Back to the edge of the area, back to Kovacic again. Low cross into Giroud, trying to get across the goalkeeper. Rico comes and smothers the near post and pushes it behind and away for a corner. Excellent football by Chelsea, but it started with a giveaway. Cyrus Christie with a very sloppy pass across his own centre circle. Dangerous.
I feel for him. I think it's the exquisite pressing from Chelsea as a unit. You know, you look up and there's a sea of blue shirts coming at you, and they're not used to it. Not used to it at all.
Corner into the near post, away by Callum Chambers. Good, strong header, arcing his neck and getting it right out towards the far side. Maurizio Sarri, his pen in one hand and his paper in the other, just tossed it into his back pocket, and is, I think, a little bit frustrated that Chelsea haven't gone on in this game and put more pressure on Fulham. Ball is out of play.
It will be, because you know, whatever you do, you have to take advantage of the periods you get. And we're sort of anticipating that Chelsea will keep having these periods against Fulham, but that might change. That might change if one set piece comes off, one breakaway comes off.
Would you give him a handball for Hazard's flip against the arm of Johansson?
If I could change the rules, yes, because every handball in the box should be given. I would definitely change it. It would make the game more interesting and more people would score goals, because you'd have more penalties, but I don't like it being left to the... Oh, was that deliberate? Oh, no, it wasn't deliberate, because... it
was a bit close to him, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it wouldn't matter if you change the rule.
Here is Cyrus Christie over halfway.
But I would change half the rules anyway, Sam, so... Forget about that.
But bearing in mind the rules as they are.
No.
Was it a penalty?
He was too close to him. Wasn't deliberate.
Hearts 1, Rangers 1. Connor Goldson, previously at Brighton, wasn't he?
Yeah, centre half, didn't he?
Yeah, centre half. Has scored for Hearts. Scored for Rangers against Hearts. Is 1-1 there.
He's a good lad, he is. Connor, good player.
Here is Jorginho turning away from Le Marchand, who had a little tug on the way through. Free kick given to Chelsea deep inside their own territory. We've got 5 and a bit minutes before half time. You're listening to Talk Sport.
Have we? God, that's gone quick, hasn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's always lovely spending a Sunday afternoon with you.
Well, thank you, mate.
Goes very
Look at this little fella.
Talking of going quickly, here's Hazard sprinting away from 1 and 2. Plays it into Alonso, whose cross into the box is cut out by Mawson. And again, Giroud is educating him as to where he should have put it. It goes out for a corner.
He is definitely not going to get a Christmas card from them forwards, is he, at the moment? Come on, Alonso. Normally puts it on the button.
Corner kick, Pedro to take it. He's got Hazard close to him. I don't think he's going to go for a short one this time. There are 5 Chelsea heads waiting to get on the end of this. It's in towards the near post, flicked away as far as Conte is encouraged to shoot. I don't think he will. He'll turn it back to Azpilicueta. Chelsea don't score too many goals from corner kicks. They did score one against Manchester United, but when Rudiger headed in. But apart from that, doesn't happen very often. Kovacic rolls the ball to Hazard. He shoots from the edge of the area. It ricochets to Luiz. He will shoot if he gets a chance, but he's closed down very quickly by Le Marchand, who plays it against his compatriot Conte, and it goes out of play and away for a throw-in.
Le Marchand did brilliantly there. He won 2 challenges. If he wouldn't have done that, Luiz was going to get a shot and Kante was going to get a shot. Well done, young man.
Maxime Le Marchand, who's cost £12 million from Nice, came up with the assist for Mitrovic's first goal against Saints. He's 29 years of age, playing in the Premier League for the first time this season. Here is Rudiger on halfway for Chelsea, who lead, courtesy of a goal in the first 4 minutes for Pedro. Across to David Luiz. curling the ball out towards the near side. He's got it again, Alonso. Again, he's run into traffic. Good challenge by Christie. Sessegnon takes over. And Chambers tries to feed Sessegnon down the right-hand side, but David Luiz was alert to the danger, come over to the touchline and covered.
He read that so well, didn't he?
Yeah, and gave it back to Elvida Balaga, who's had very little to do in the game.
Look at that. Oh dear, so nonchalant. He's just pinged that 45, 50 yards.
One side of the pitch to the other. David
Inside
Luiz.
of his foot. Made it look easy.
Here is Azpilicueta, deep inside his own territory.
Oh dear. They do it so well. Fulham, in fairness, are trying to get over there, doing the right thing. They're trying to get the bodies over there, but Chelsea's split.
Kovacic just putting pressure on Odoi, and then he's chasing after Christie, and then Rico clears only as far as Luiz, who taps it back down the left. This time it doesn't reach Eden Hazard and goes out on this near side. So Claudio Ranieri going to make a change at half-time, do you think? Can he do that? Has he got the resources to do that on the bench?
Yeah, let's have a look. Yeah, he can, yeah. It's just, I mean, he won't be that upset in a minute. After 3.5 minutes, if I was him, I'd have been a bit worried. But to be fair, I think it's just Chelsea not up in the tempo enough, you know. But obviously Claudio's done some work with that. But he's got to get Mitrovic some more support. He really has. I'm not sure.
Crossfield ball has been cut out by Azpilicueta. Johansson struggling to get back as Conte sprints forward down the right-hand side. Fulham now getting back into shape. Chelsea didn't have too many options forward. There was space for Hazard on the left-hand side. They haven't worked it to him yet. Kovacic finds Alonso midway inside the Fulham half of the field. Then Hazard goes beyond Christie, holds him off, draws Christie and Chambers together, and then rolls away from both of them, pops it into Giroud, tries to turn it round the corner. It's a mistake by Mitrovic, who lost out to Jorginho, who wins it high up again. He's got it back, Jorginho into the box. He tries to play it to Hazard. Hazard trying to hold off. He's so strong, Hazard, for someone so small, and someone who never goes to the gym ever. Plays the ball out towards the right side, picked up by Pedro.
Such a low centre of gravity. Gets his
Azpilicueta in by Conte. Low cross into the near post. Giroud with a little poke, saved by Sergio Rico, who pushes it away beautifully, and it doesn't come fortuitously to Hazard, and it's cleared away by Fulham. Good chance. Chelsea coming again down the right. It's Pedro moving infield, finding first Kovacic and then on to Hazard. Leaves it for Alonso, intelligent, back heel into Hazard. Hazard swivels onto his right foot, wants to play it forward to Giroud. It's played into it. Giroud's won a 50-50 with Christie, then shot at Odoi, blocked by him, comes back out towards the near side. Kovacic is relentless pressure again.
It is relentless. It's Chelsea's structure and shape that Sarri's set them up in. And they know when they give it away that they've got a lot of bodies around there and they're pressing. Even Azpilicueta's pressing now. That's brilliant. Look how tight Rudiger is.
To Mitrovic, who's won it just over the halfway line. He's taken them out towards the far touchline, and then it's come back infield to Kearney.
It's almost like a clamp they put on you, and Fulham aren't used to this. No one managed to get that tight to them. I think they've lost a little bit of confidence as well, to be honest, and they've probably been doing defending all week, but so impressed with Chelsea at the moment.
And Rangers have gone 2-1 up away at Hearts. Edison Morelos has scored the goal, which has put them in front. And here it's Chelsea who lead by 1-0. Olivier Giroud just having a chance, getting in front of his marker and poking it goalward. Sergio Rico saved it. He signed on loan from Sevilla, Rico. Good goalkeeper, I think. Ranieri's now decided to settle on him. One of the big problems I think that Fulham had, especially at the beginning of the season, Ian, was the fact that they just didn't seem to know what their best team was. They signed so many players in the summer, and they have a squad which is just huge. Yeah,
I think if Jokanovic looks back at it, did he sign too many players and not enough quality? And should he have rewarded the lads who did ever so well for him with more games at the start, you know, because he kept chopping and changing, probably didn't know what his best team was. But he's a brilliant manager. I really like the man, you know, I have to say.
Got 2 teams promoted from the Championship.
Yeah, it's
here's Kearney into the area, held up by Mitrovic.
Not easy,
Kovacic and Kearney trying to go for the same ball, and Kovacic has come off worse, despite the fact that it looked initially as if he'd fouled Kearney. The referee says play on. Here come Fulham again, picked up by Kearney, 30 yards from goal. He sends it left to First Seri, and then on wider left to Johansson. Mitrovic has dropped out of the area here, picks it up and sends it wide towards the left-hand side. We're into injury time at the end of the first half here, and it goes eventually out of play, and I think it took a deflection off the Chelsea body and out for a corner. And Fulham, right at the end of the first half, just building up a little bit of the head of steam.
This is what they need to do. They need to regain a little bit of confidence. I tell you what, if they nick one here, this would be interesting. Be much better for us neutrals, Sam. Unless you're a Chelsea fan, are you or not?
Here is the corner on the near side. Sessegnon in towards the near post. It's headed away by Alonso, picked up by Eden Hazard, and he's scampering into opposition territory on his own. But he's got 4 for company now, and he's turned, and he needs a bit of support. It's provided by Pedro down the left-hand side. He's got Giroud waiting in the centre. Hazard's made another run into the box. It's centred towards him, away by Le Marchand. And Alonso was putting pressure on. There's a bit of a collision over on the far side. I thought it was going to be a foul. It's not. It's the signal for the end of the first half. A first half which Chelsea have absolutely dominated, but only lead by a goal to nil. They haven't lost at home when leading at half-time since October 2011. And I'll be honest with you, they don't look like they're going to start now. At the break, Chelsea 1, Fulham 0. And as Ian may have told you, Johansson and Sessegnon have been replaced at half-time by Aboubakar Kamara and Floyd Aite. It means a little rejig in midfield for Fulham. I still think it'll be 4-3-3, but it's going to be a much more offensive team, or maybe a 4-2-3-1 formation for Fulham, with Aite on the left-hand side and Kamara on the right. But it is a significant change for Claudio Ranieri and Fulham, and Ian Holloway will tell you what he thinks about it.
Yeah, he's put 2 blisteringly quick wingers out there to try and help defend and then try and counter-attack, and I can understand why. Sessegnon had a really quiet game, and Johansson's only just come back in it, and that's not really his skill set so obviously Kamara and Keita are both like absolute whippets, so he'll be hoping they'll get some support to Mitrovic.
I'll run through the 2-11s for you in just a second. Fulham shooting from right to left towards their supporters, away to our left-hand side in white shirts and white shorts, black socks. Chelsea in royal blue tops and shorts and white socks, shooting from left to right. Space on the wide right for Cyrus Christie, who had a very difficult first half. Aboubakar Kamara turns it back into the feet of Seri. Seri with a cross into the box. Mitrovic trying to bring it down. He's under pressure from Azpilicueta. He's still bundling his way through, and he played it against the arm, did he, of Rudiger. He thinks he should have got a penalty. Rudiger has a foul given against him, and Chelsea have a bit of an early let-off.
Yeah, Mitrovic, this is all about him. Look at his power. He's so dangerous in this situation, and that's a blatant shove in the end. And he stood on Rudiger. He knows he's gone over him like a combine harvester, mate. Absolutely left him all over the place. But that's what you want to see. You want to see that.
Combine harvester?
Yeah, absolutely smashed him over, mate.
Chopped up
into little bits. But that's what the man does. He's not only a good player, he's also so physical. Kamara's made a heck of a start as well.
Over on that right-hand side.
He has got some power, Sam.
Well, he's massive. We saw him getting his pecs out, didn't we, as he was getting ready to come on. Is that
what they're called? I don't know what it was.
Well, they were massive, weren't they? They were big plates that he has on either side of his breastbone.
Fantastically musculature torso.
Yep. And I'll go through the 2-11s for you, with Chelsea not making any changes from the first half, as you would probably imagine. Alida Balaga is the goalkeeper. Azpilicueta, Luiz, Rudiger and Alonso are the back four. Conte, Jorginho and Kovacic in midfield. Pedro and Hazard supporting Giroud in attack. Chelsea just went a little bit easy-ozy in that first half after getting in front, didn't they? Fulham, Sergio Rico in goal, Christie, Odoi, Mawson and Le Marchand, and then it's Chambers and Seri holding, and Kearney in the number 10 position behind Mitrovic. Either side of him, the substitutes are Aboubakar Kamara and Floyd Aite. And I'm not surprised at all that the manager Claudio Ranieri has decided to make a change. Their last top-flight win here came in March 1964, 54 years ago, and the delightfully named Bedford Jezard was the manager that day. Here the ball is on the edge of the Chelsea penalty area. Chelsea play it elegantly out from the back towards the centre of midfield with Kovacic, and then on to Eden Hazard, who strides forward. Aboubakar Kamara coming back and uses that musculature to try and nudge him off the ball, and boy did he nudge.
Wow, He must be like hitting a tank. We said how strong Hazard is. He just got completely brushed off the ball there. Good tracking back by Kamara.
I think this is maybe a text in at a later point in the day. Players as machines. If Mitrovic is a combine harvester and AK-47 is a tank.
Well, we'll work on it, mate, but
let's see what you can get
it's
for Tom
livened
Kearney.
up, isn't it? It's
Here's
livened
Pedro
up.
picking the ball up in the hole, running towards the edge of the area, shifting onto his right foot, shooting down the middle of the goal, who was unsighted Rico, but pushed it away and out towards this near side. And then it's taken on by Aite, who's getting away from Conte. Good skill by him to get away from Conte. It's his sixth Premier League appearance of the season, Aite, after coming off the bench. The ball goes out of play. We'll go off to the Emirates because Jim Proudfoot's got the team news at Arsenal.
Sam, a very good afternoon. Arsenal in the same side that won at Bournemouth. Ozil picked up a back spasm in training and isn't in the 18. Lacazette and Lichtsteiner are back on the bench. It's Leno in goal, Mustafi, Socrates and Holding. Bellerin, Torreira, Xhaka and Kolasinac. Mkhitaryan and Iwobi in support of Aubameyang. Spurs only changed to the team that beat Chelsea last weekend is at the back where Foyt's preferred to Vertonghen. So it's Lloris in goal, Aurier, Foyt, Vertonghen and Davis. Sissoko, Dyer and Eriksson. And then Ali behind Son and Kane. We kick off at 2:05.
Cheers, Jem, thank you very much. 2:05 the start for that game, live and exclusive on TalkSport. Arsenal against Tottenham. It's amazing, isn't it, how that Mesut Ozil seems to pick up those back spasms in training just before those big games.
Yeah, listen, I don't agree with a back spasm, mate. I don't think there's any such thing.
So basically, is he leaving him out because he doesn't think he works hard enough in the big games?
I don't know.
Let's come up with a brilliant excuse. Here's Le Marchand moving
How
up
can you
towards...
prove you've got a back spasm or you had one or you haven't? Do you know what I mean? And I know if you do get a back spasm, then you literally can't walk and it's very, very painful, and that's... So I apologise if that's what he's got, but... Deary me.
Conspiracy theory, I think we may well be dealing in here, but anyway, you're listening to TalkSport, and it's Chelsea 1, Fulham 0 with Just Eat, Football Food, living the dream. And the ball is out of play on this near side. Live commentary of that game coming up at 2:05 here on TalkSport on wall-to-wall football. 1:30 we've got Bristol City against Millwall on TalkSport 2. You can tune in to TalkSport 2 for that, and if you haven't got TalkSport 2 on your DAB digital radio yet, or you've not downloaded our app, you can get it from the iOS or the Google Play Store right now, and you'll have access to all our services. And there's some cracking stuff on there, including a montage of Ian Holloway's commentary of the game between Aston Villa and Nottingham Forest last week.
Well, that was easy, mate. It was brilliant.
Here is Conte, up to Pedro, then back to Jorginho. And then
it was so exciting, Sam. Honestly,
I've watched the video. You were very excited, weren't you?
Oh, it was just brilliant to watch.
My favourite bit was 4-5.
He's 5'5", 4'4".
Here is Hazard inside the area. We also got that doing the rounds on Twitter as well on our social media channels at TalkSport.
Dance and I thought it was going to be a damp squiver second half, you know, and to be honest, we thought it was a microwave game all in the first half, 3-3, and then all of a sudden it ended up 2-2 in the second half, which made it 5-5. And there was 2 goals disallowed. I mean, it was crazy.
It was.
But it was the fans that they didn't know whether to celebrate that their team scored 5 or be gutted that they let 5 in.
Well, I think at the moment Chelsea fans are getting a little bit frustrated that they've only scored 1, and Fulham fans are reinvigorated after half-time. 6 minutes gone in the second half. It's Chelsea 1, Fulham 0. Here is Alonso.
They've got a good chance, I think, because they're only 1 down.
Into Hazard, trying to turn away from Seri. And he looks up and he's encouraging runners on the right-hand side. Azpilicueta was the man he told to get forward. He's eventually done that. He's taking on Le Marchand, who defends well, turns it back into centre field, and then plays it out to Aite, who leaves it for Mitrovic. Aite picks it up again, then turns it back to Le Marchand. Under pressure, Seri tries to get away from Kovacic. That was a what machine challenge was that?
That was you know when you chop your trees down and you put them in the mincer. Yeah, one of them.
Wood chopper.
A wood chopper, yeah. He's ended up on the back of the truck in bits.
Here is Seri, just right of the centre circle. On to Kearney. Kearney out wide to Cyrus Christie. Cyrus Christie cuts in field, plays it down towards Kearney. Kearney on towards the right, and then Christie's got it back, and into the area he goes. He's looking for Mitrovic. It takes a deflection. It could have gone anywhere off Rudiger. It went behind for a corner, but it could have gone beyond Arrizabalaga and into the net. It was inches away from being an own goal. It's a corner.
Wow, what this smacks of experience. You know, Ranieri's experience of, okay, let's make 2 changes, let's do this, let's do that. It's not rocket science, but all of a sudden those 2 wide men have given them some belief that they can get forward.
Corner into the near post, header by Mawson, down and saved, and in fact it was Chambers who got up there, who headed it down, and Arrizabalaga makes a stave down by his feet to push it away and keep Chelsea in front.
On a knife edge, there you go, mate. Look at this. We spoke about Chelsea not making enough of their chances. What a great save. Brilliant header from Chambers. Great ball in. There you go. That changes on a knife edge. This is, oh dearie me. Odie caught him right in the throat almost.
Yeah, Adoy then went across, actually, was the header.
Adoy, there he goes. Oh, good gracious me.
Well, as it was repelled by Arrizabalaga, Adoy then stuck his foot up into the chest of Pedro and knocked him off the pitch. That's a yellow card for him. It quickly came out from Craig Pawson. We're restarting again.
There we go. We got something else there, mate. We got the Karate Kid. Hey, that was like one of those that Mr. Miyagi's told him about the crane, I think that was.
Yeah.
Gracious me, Sam. Hey, we've got a game on our hands.
And that was
lightened up.
Straight after Arrizabalaga did the old wax on, wax off.
He did, yeah. Good job he did, because it'd been 1-1.
It was a good save, wasn't it? It was a good header by Chambers, who got up at the near post. Mawson went running towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and then Chambers just followed him, rose highest, glanced the ball goalward, got it right down towards the centre of the goal, and Arrizabalaga made a really good save. And it's Chelsea 1, Fulham 0 still.
Here he goes,
But
Kamara, look at him.
Abubakar Kamara. And he's sprinting down that right-hand side, trying to get the better of Alonso, and he skipped the ball away from Alonso, but then couldn't get round him and into the penalty area, and it just went out of play, and it was a lucky escape for Chelsea. 2 lucky escapes, because actually, you know, looking back at that option for Callum Chambers, he ran away from Alonso, lost his marker.
He hasn't had the best of games, has he, Alonso? I think I can say that. Normally he's Mr. Consistent, but today, yeah, but look at much more aggressive press from Fulham. That's so much better.
Craig Pawson's not happy about the goal kick that's just been taken by Arrizabalaga. He didn't think it went out of the 18-yard box, so they reset and gone again. And Chelsea have played it out towards David Luiz over on the far side. The last time that Fulham managed to beat Chelsea was at Craven Cottage, March 2006. Luis Bournemorte was the man who scored the only goal of that game. But as I mentioned a couple of times, 1964, the last time they won here in a top-flight encounter. Very long time ago. But they're only 1 behind here, and they shouldn't be. I mean, Chelsea should have been over the hills and far, far away, packing up and having their Sunday lunch and not worrying about what happens in this second half after what happened in that first 25 minutes. But it didn't work out like that, did it?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, they could have been on. It's a strange time to play as well. It feels a bit weird, but Alonso at last had just got angry at himself then. He is so sloppy at the moment.
Here come Fulham again. It's Aite on halfway. Abubakar Kamara is sprinting away down the left side and waiting for the pass. Apilikueta holds him off, and it's sent out for a throw-in on this near side. And Chelsea now may well make a change, I think.
I will make a really bold statement. As a one-on-one defender, I don't think there's anybody better in the world than Apilikueta. Honestly.
Good player. Good professional.
Yeah, but when someone runs at you, he looks so confident. He always makes the right. There he is again. Absolutely inch perfect. He's a brilliant defender. It's a dying art, that is, Sam.
Well, he's one of those rare defenders as well, as Jorginho gets himself out of a tight spot, being pressurised by Mitrovic and Kearney on the edge of his own penalty area. David Luiz then plays the ball forward. He's a rare defender who's played left back, right back, right wing back, left wing back, centre half. Here is Giroud, played in by Hazard. It was just a bit too much fizz on that ball from Hazard, and Giroud couldn't control it.
He should have. He's a World Cup winner. He should have got hold of that. They're a little bit sloppy at the moment.
And it's inviting Fulham, isn't it, to get on the front foot. It's giving them a little...
This was a boxing match, Sam. They would have dropped their hands, mate. They'd have, the old Sugar Ray Leonard showboating a bit. You could take a punch if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Why I'm throwing the boxing in, because what a fight that was. How did he get up? How did he do that? Fury, unbelievable.
Big night last night in Los Angeles at the Staples Center, and
was it a draw?
Well, it was a draw, yeah. It ended up being a draw. Was it a draw? Well, I think even the fact that he did what he did last night is a fantastic comeback from Tyson Fury, and we've had all the reaction on our social media channels with Adam Catterall and Gareth A. Davis, and Fight Night was great last night. I don't know if you heard it. Here is Kovacic over on the left-hand side.
They reckon he lost 12 stone, didn't they? That's just about me, Sam. Fury, he's lost the equivalent of me. Good God. Well done, mate.
Here are Chelsea on the front foot, coming forward with Jorginho. Back to Kovacic and trying to split
slow.
the defence.
They got to move it. Sorry, I'll be fuming at this.
And they need a bit more left, right, and then try and find a killer blow. Here's Conte, who might well do that. He boxes clever, and he's won the ball high up on the pitch, moved into a central position, then he's tugged back, wins the free kick, 30 yards from goal.
They need to be careful, Chelsea. Really need the second goal now.
Where's it going to come from?
Don't know. Maybe the bench. Willian, you know. I've always liked him. I know he didn't play very well last week. Got Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Cesc Fabregas, maybe something like that.
David Luiz is placing down the free kick. It is
one of my all-time favourite midfield players who can pass it and do things, and he's sat on the bench.
Fabregas.
Oh, what a player.
32 yards back from the goal. It's a shade left of centre, and David Luiz is about to take it here. He's taken loads of strides back. He's just pushed a bit of hair behind his ear. There's a 5-man wall for him, a 4-man wall for him to try and beat. Olivier Giroud just standing behind that. It's actually Alonso who strikes it instead, and he curls it over the wall and straight into the arms of Sergio Rico, and it was some way out, wasn't it, really, to try and execute a shot from that sort of range.
Very ambitious. He's trying to sort of make up for the game he's having by belting one in the top corner. Seen him do it a lot of times.
Great free kick last night I saw down at St Mary's from Cedric. Beautiful free kick.
Even his manager said I watched him in training and he wasn't doing that in training.
He told us last night on TalkSport that he's been watching Ronaldo, his compatriot and teammate with the Portugal national team. He said practice makes perfect.
Well, he got his team a point. What a brilliant free kick, and what a team to do it against. Manchester United.
What a goalkeeper to beat.
Yeah, absolutely. Only the best in the world, in my opinion.
Mawson sends a pass from the centre circle out towards the right side. He's overhit that, and it's gone nowhere near Abubakar Kamara, and it's gone straight out of play, and it's away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. And Chelsea's manager, as I mentioned in the first half, bemoaned the mental approach the last couple of games. Will he be moaning about that again today?
I think he will. I think he'd be a little bit annoyed. With no disrespect to Fulham, I think Chelsea because they got a goal so early, they've sort of definitely taken the foot off the gas. There's not that intensity of movement, of touch, because no one's near them. You know, if you look at it,
it's too easy for them,
it's
isn't it?
too easy, and they're making too many sloppy mistakes.
And if you're a manager on the sidelines, how do you reinvigorate them after that? Sometimes, because you do sometimes say that we conceded too early.
Yeah, but I'd be making a substitution now. I'd be saying that's not good enough. Off you go. I think that's what the bench is all about.
He's won a free kick over on the far side. Christie with a sloppy challenge on him, which has given Chelsea a set piece over on the far side. It's midway between the halfway line and the edge of the penalty area. Far side the Chelsea left. They lead by a goal to nil. Can they come up with something here? And Rudiger has moved up to an advanced position. He's the furthest Chelsea player forward at this moment in time. Alonso's joining him. David Luiz joining the melee on the edge of the box. There's about 13 players inside the D, and the ball from Hazard is a real poor one, and it's cleared away easily by Fulham.
This is when you need the drive from the people out there to set the standards that this isn't good enough. Our intensity isn't good enough. Now, come on. And
the Chelsea fans getting annoyed now, and they're just having a word with the Chelsea players. Come on, get forward, start moving it around at a quicker pace. Maybe that will just
you need an injection of urgency. I think that's what I'm trying to get. Who's given them that? You know, Rashford made a difference yesterday. Who's given them that? Look at
the body language of Willian on the near touchline, just standing there watching on. As Rudiger takes the ball over halfway. Hazard's made a sprint through the middle of the pitch. Adoy's stopped the ball from reaching him. Conte's underneath it though. Pedro goes towards it. Maxime Le Marchand skews a clearance which is won by Kovacic over on the far side, the left, and has left Abubakar Kamara on the floor. It's back infield, it goes towards Alonso. Alonso back left again to Kovacic. Kovacic now with movement in the middle from Giroud, but he needed some help. Alonso's gone in as an auxiliary extra centre forward. Here is Conte trying to squeeze between the tightest of gaps, one that closed upon him, and is eventually through to Christie, who clears out for a throw-in. Over on the far side, Maurizio Sarri in that tracksuit. And
when you're this far on top, do you need Kante and Jorginho? Do you? Could you take one of them off and put Loftus-Cheek on or Willian on? Do you know what I mean? It's almost as if you're... These are the games that win and lose you titles, mate.
Hazard onto Giroud down the left side of the area, trying to play it onto Hazard. Comes back to Pedro, whose half-hearted effort takes a deflection from the wide right of the area off Le Marchand, and it's gobbled up by the goalkeeper. Well, he's not usually cautious, is he? I mean, he's anything but the former bank manager.
Yeah,
Maurizio Sarri.
Listen, I'm full of admiration for him, but I got such a vantage point here of what's happening. They're so far on top.
Alonso's been robbed of possession over on the far side. Kamara has given it to Kearney inside the box. He's trying to get away from Conte. He's down the right side, sends it back to Callum Chambers. What a save by Arrizabalaga, down to his right to stop Fulham from getting an equaliser. Ball back towards the edge of the box. The danger's not past. Seri shapes to shoot, doesn't catch it right, and it skews away and out for a goal kick away to our left. But there's just the highlight of the danger, a real problem, and now Ruben Loftus-Cheek is getting stripped and ready for action, because I think he's going to come on to try and inject a bit of urgency into this midfield. That's another warning for Chelsea. Twice Callum Chambers has been thwarted by Arrizabalaga.
I gotta be honest, I would want to put a blowtorch on Alonso at the minute, like liven up. Do you know what I mean? Seriously.
Might be a little bit harsh, a blowtorch.
No, it's not. He is so much better than this performance. And it's almost like spreading. Do you know what I mean? It really is. It's almost like spreading.
Yeah.
For God's sake.
It's probably against the Geneva Convention, I would have thought.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I went
light a fire under it, basically, is what you're saying.
One more than a hairdryer. Do you know what I mean? Or a Bunsen burner then, just to warm him up.
20 minutes gone.
No, but you get what I mean. It's just, it's so annoying.
Lackadaisical, lethargic,
that's
not enough intensity.
For God's sake.
Needs a rocket up his backside, is what you're trying to say. Loftus-Cheek is about to come on. Pilikawaita's getting that disease now. He's giving the ball away.
It does spread. It's horrible.
And then the free kick is given against Chelsea for a bit of tugging back. And they do need to make some sort of change here in mental approach, because if they don't do that, they're going to end up conceding a goal, because Fulham have had two good chances, and I'm sure they're not going to give up a third with Mitrovic in the team. Here's the change. Off comes Mateo Kovacic and on comes Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
I think Kovacic is limping. He's definitely limping.
Would that be the reason he's taken him off then, rather than what we're trying to say, which is that they need a little bit of oomph? Yeah, well,
listen, I've always been let's go and score some more goals, and I would like to see Willian. He can do wing back. Not being funny, he can do wing back better than Alonso's doing it today. Good gracious me.
Well, Loftus-Cheek is on, and there's a little cheer from the Chelsea fans who are delighted to see him play.
They love him, don't they? They love him.
Graduate of the Chelsea Academy. He's in
brilliant
the team
in
now.
Palace last season. Brilliant.
Ball towards the edge of the area, and it's away by...
and he had a good World Cup, mate, as well, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Played well for England. Played well for Palace. Got a few injuries at Palace as well, which have restricted his appearances, actually. But, yeah. And he's already scored a hat-trick for Chelsea once this season, in the home game against Bate Borisov. And he's
cultured, mate, isn't he, with the ball. He hardly ever gives it away.
It's his
wonderful player.
It's his 50th Premier League appearance today.
He's in.
Here is Loftus-Cheek down the left side, played in by Pedro, but it was just a little bit too heavy for him. Couldn't get on the end of it. Ran off the turf and goes out of play over on the far side.
But he's lifted the crowd, hasn't he? It's all about talent, isn't it? We all want to pay to see talent, and that boy's got an abundance of it.
So big, isn't he, as well,
Kovacic has, but
he's always been huge. Even when he was playing in the youth teams here, he's always stood out from everybody else. He's muscular, tall, lean. He's got great command of the football. He can run at players. If there's ever been a question about him, it's been that sometimes he looks a little bit too casual. But he's on the ball now, and he runs forward with it, loses it, but Conte wins it back. It comes back to David Luiz, who plays it square to Azpilicueta, and Chelsea now trying to come on the attack. Remember, Arsenal against Tottenham, live on TalkSport from 2:05, only here on TalkSport. Bristol City and Millwall starting in 5 minutes over on TalkSport 2. Here's Alonso down the left-hand side. Hazard making space in the centre. Giroud goes towards the near post. Again, it's a cross, which is not great, and it's cleared away by Fulham. And here's Kearney looking for Aite. Oh, that was a late challenge by Azpilicueta. It's going to be a yellow card, I think, and it's going to be a free kick to Fulham.
He had to take everything out there. He could see, he's very intelligent. He could see there was a counter-attack building down that side. He had to get, I think he played the ball, but he did catch him as well. And it's good to see he's had a few injuries. Great player, by the way, Tom Kearney. Yeah. I'm glad he got up so quickly.
Good technical player, good balance, knows how to manipulate the ball. Here is Cyrus Christie down the right. Kamara's in behind Alonso again, and he's got a chance to cross here. He has crossed, but Rudiger is stationed perfectly, and it wasn't a brilliant ball, and it's headed away by the German. And that's another example of Alonso switching off and Kamara just testing him and getting in behind him.
He needs an absolute rocket. You know, maybe from David Luiz or something, like, come on, lad. You know, you can't get in that easy.
Yeah.
Oh, dear, what's he doing today?
Here's Christie down the right side trying to play the ball in towards Chambers, who's inside the area, and he's battling his way into the box here, Chambers. Chambers got beyond 3 players, into the box, delivers a cross. It's a dreadful effort. He's whacked it away. I think he just got too excited, Callum Chambers, when he got into the area. He'd beaten 3 Chelsea players, found himself free. He was sort of on the left edge of the 6-yard box. And he ended up, instead of shooting or driving the ball through the 6-yard box, Mitrovic was there waiting for it, thrashing it past everyone. Change for Chelsea, Morata for Giroud.
Yeah, sometimes you need a leader to start screaming at you if you're 4 or 5 or 6 things. The front lads had told him about his crossing. I've never seen Marco quite have a game like this, to be honest. I'm going to stop talking about him now. We're going on to someone else.
Okay. Alvaro Morata's on now, so you can talk about him.
Yeah.
He's got
I like him, actually.
He's got a new haircut.
No, I like him.
This week he's decided to chop off the rather...
Yeah, that's a superstitious thing for a centre forward.
Locks, and he's gone for a skinhead, as if he's dressed for battle now.
I've got to say, some of the crosses that Azpilicueta put on his noggin last year were unbelievable. He is a good player, a very, very good player.
4 goals in his last 6 Premier League appearances. He was on the bench against PAOK Salonika, came off and scored in that game as well. And 7 for the season so far for him. 25
Strikers are all about how many goals have I got, how many goals have I got, how many goals. They don't want to talk to you or do anything if they haven't scored. It's unbelievable. And when they do start scoring, a bit like Lewis Graben at the minute, they can't stop scoring, you know. So Tammy Abraham, unbelievable.
I wonder how Melu Lukaku's mood had been up until yesterday's first goal in 983 minutes. Here is Azpilicueta down the right, Morata chasing, and Mawson sends it back to his keeper, who had to scurry from the edge of his 6-yard box to make sure that he got on the end of that header and to bring it away for Fulham, who trailed by a goal to 0, but they're not out of the game, even though they should have been. Aite, good touch by him. They've had 2 good chances to get back into it, which have been thwarted by Arida Balaga, and Callum Chambers has been brilliant, and he's put the ball down the left side of the Chelsea defence looking for Kamara. There was space on the right for Christie. I think he probably chose the wrong ball, and it went through to Arida Balaga. Chelsea, again, a little bit slow, not enough intensity about them. They move the ball out through Loftus-Cheek and then onto Alonso, left side of the Fulham half of the field. They come back infield to Jorginho, then David Luiz, and then back out to Alonso again. He's got Hazard in front of him. He leaves it for Morata. Morata tries to pop it down the left. It comes back to Hazard fortuitously. Edge of the box, left-footed shot, takes a deflection. Morata is there. He's missed from 4 yards over the top of the crossbar. Well, he may have had his hair cut, but he still lacks the cutting edge.
Oh, I like that one. Oh, I feel for him. He was sharp to get on the end of this. Chelsea have woken up. Here's Hazard again. He's so dangerous. Great save. Popped up from Morata. And just gets underneath. It comes off his shin, actually.
Look at his face.
Yeah.
Look at his body language as he misses that clear-cut chance.
Spins away, and he knows how important that was.
He looks a forlorn figure His chin rests on his chest. He stares at the ground. He was 4 yards out. A clean contact is 2-0. It was well over. Well over.
Listen, you got to be tough to be a striker, mate.
Oh, Mitrovic here has got involved in a confrontation with Azpilicueta, who's gone down holding his jaw. Now, the ball was sent down the left by Le Marchand. And actually, no, it wasn't Mitrovic, it was Aite.
Aite caught him in the throat.
Kicked him in the chin.
Mitrovic is saying, get up.
That's nothing. Imagine what I'm going to do to you.
I wouldn't have felt that. Get up, yeah. I'm like a big, whatever it was I said he was, a threshing machine or whatever.
Yeah, you said
be all over.
Combine
harvester. He chewed him up, spat him out like a
haystack?
No, not a whole haystack, no. A hay bale. There you go. He's been bailed. He's been bailed up. Not Gareth, I mean a real bale.
You're listening to Chelsea 1, Fulham 0 on TalkSport with Just Eat. Football Food, living the dream. Here's Hazard onto Morata, cut out by Adoy.
Here's Kamara, come on.
It's cleared away by Fulham, up to the right-hand side. Kamara takes over, he's scampering forward. He sends the ball centrally, where it's picked up by Aite. Azpilicueta comes across. Adoy, infield. Collected now by Chambers. This is good from Fulham again. 15 minutes to go. The ball into the box isn't so good from Cyrus Christie.
Just roll it up the line, son.
And it's cut out.
Choices.
And it goes behind and away for a goal kick to Chelsea. Another change. The last change of the afternoon. And off comes Tom Kearney. And on comes Niskin Skabano.
Yes, I've been very impressed with Claudio Ranieri. I mean, I've always liked him. I think he's a wonderful. They call him the Tinker Man, but he knows what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. And his substitutions, the timing of them has been excellent. Let's see if this little fella can.
Well, what's he trying to do with this substitution?
Well,
then?
Kearney's been out for a bit, so he's obviously played him 60 minutes almost. And 75 minutes. He's got through that, and he's just putting fresh legs on just to see if we can get yet another body there who can run just behind Mitrovic.
Oh, David Luiz was running away from Mitrovic and gave the ball away. Mitrovic was penalised for a little tug. It's a bit fortunate that for Chelsea. Let me give you the latest odds from Betfair. Sunday Exclusive's official betting partner on TalkSport. 14-1 for Chelsea to go on and win the game. 90-1 for Fulham to come back and win it. 9-1 for the draw. And you can cash out now on single or selected accumulator bets.
It'll be a little bad bet, that one, the way the game's going.
And to take your winnings before the end of the match. Full terms and conditions at betfair.com. 18+. Please gamble responsibly.
Look at Mitrovic.
Mitrovic holding the ball up well. And Kamara then sends it back into midfield. Christie then gives the ball away and Chelsea turn it over. Morata gets it. The Ruben Loftus-Cheek takes over, drives into the Fulham half of the field. He's still going. He's set up Hazard now, edge of the area, running at the defence, shoots, hits Adoy, who brings the ball away, and Chelsea can't convert that chance. But that was better from Ruben Loftus-Cheek, leading the Chelsea attack. Oh, Luiz has dived in. He's lost the ball. Kamara's got it right side. What an impact he's made since half-time.
He's been fantastic, hasn't he?
And Fulham have it back again on halfway, but Chambers gets himself in a bit of a knot, and then away by Mawson and up towards the right side, and you'd fancy Kamara against Alonso on any day. This time it goes over both their heads, and Alonso races back and gives it to Kepa Arrizabalaga.
Well, not any day, but the day that Alonso's having.
Today, yeah.
In fairness, he's normally fantastic, isn't he?
Chelsea usually adept at swatting aside those who have just come up from the Championship. They've lost one of their last 52 Premier League games against newly promoted sides to Stamford Bridge. The only freshly promoted team to beat them during that period was Bournemouth in December 2015. Chelsea going to make a change here, and I think they might be changing the left back. Let's see. They are.
Yeah.
Zappa Costa on and Alonso off. Now, I don't think either of us are surprised by that, because Alonso's had a very difficult afternoon.
Look at him, look at how he's walking off.
Yeah, I think he's probably personally frustrated with his own performance, isn't he?
Well, I hope so.
And he was getting a bit of the rough stuff from Kamara. And I wonder whether Azpilicueta will go out towards that left-hand side, and Davide Zappacosta will come out towards the right-hand side. So it is going to be Zappacosta at right back.
What, who between him and the manager?
No?
No. Not even a high five.
No. Scott Arthur's been sent off for Rangers, still winning 2-1 away at Hearts. Big result that for Steven Gerrard. Is Mitrovic shooting from 35 yards. The ball just ran for him and he thought, I'll have a pop from here.
Slightly ambitious, but...
It was speculative. It was never going to test Arida Balaga. Away to our left.
If you've got 7 goals in the Premier League, why not?
Chelsea face Wolves in the midweek on Wednesday night, away from home. And then they've got Manchester City at home here Saturday night. What game that's going to be. What a game.
Corker,
you'd love to go to that one, wouldn't you?
I would.
I'm coming.
You lucky little person.
It's live on Talk Sport. Stuart Pearce and I will be here, live and exclusive commentary of Chelsea versus Man City next Saturday night.
You and Psycho? Oh dear.
Dream team, eh?
He's a dream team, isn't he?
Yeah, unless he gets angry with me.
Yeah. Don't get one played to your feet, mate, because he'll be right.
Pedro up to Morata, who's trying to hold off Christie. Christie wrestles him to the ground. Actually, it was Hazard who was holding off Christie, and it was he who was wrestled to the ground. Didn't really look like Hazard's body shape, actually, but he managed to get down low and pull him with him, and it's a free kick that's been given to Chelsea just back from the edge of the D.
It's funny, I mean, even I'm getting nervous because Christie, if Hazard would have just got half a yard to spin and turn away from you, he's gone, isn't he?
Hazard now said, get away.
Yeah, get out of the way, David.
It's mine. He fancies the free kick.
I don't want to see him have a shot here, David Luiz, because he's getting me fed up. He keeps moving that hair behind his ear, and I'm so jealous, mate.
97 goals for Chelsea. Eden Hazard. He's never scored against Fulham. He places the ball down. Kamara's just come just to disrupt proceedings. There's a 5-man wall and then one behind that as well. So he's got to get this up and down over the wall and into one of the corners if he's going to trouble Sergio Rico. It's Eden Hazard standing over it, right-footed, straight down the middle of the goal. An easy catch for Sergio Rico. He got it up and he got it down, but he couldn't really cause too many problems for the Spanish goalkeeper. And they roll that out quickly to Christie, and then he clears. Ooh, it sort of shanks it really out towards the far side.
I think that's the word, tame.
Yes.
Well, I was expecting a lion's roar here today, and unfortunately we've had a bit of a kitten, haven't we?
10 games without a goal for Eden Hazard. He hasn't been 100% fit, I don't think. And you mentioned it right at the very start. Are they too over-reliant on him?
After today's performance, I think they are.
And what do you do about that if you're Maurizio Sarri? Because it's not like they haven't got talent elsewhere. Is there too much put on him? Do they need to let the others express themselves?
It's only a balance, and it's finding that balance. And you can't say they've had a bad season, can you?
They've only lost one game, yeah.
They've lost one game. It's just the fact that Manchester City are putting pressure on absolutely everybody.
Oh, they win everything, don't they? They win every game.
Yeah, but it's the way they do it. It's not just the win, it's the way they win.
Here is
pace they've got.
Hazard to Loftus-Cheek, back to Hazard again. Hazard looking up. Can he play the ball forward here? They're all bunched on the edge of the area. Loftus-Cheek, Hazard, lovely ball to Loftus-Cheek. This will finish it. Loftus-Cheek scores. It's 2-0 off the bench to put Chelsea into an unassailable lead.
Absolutely
Ruben Loftus-Cheek,
magnificent.
The academy graduate, finishes off a beautiful move involving Pedro, Hazard and the Englishman, and he scores his 5th goal of the season, and Chelsea score twice against Fulham, and that should be all 3 points. It's 2-0.
What an absolutely superb move. Look at their minds, a little touch, they're all on the move, it looks easy, but they're light years ahead. Their brains, and that's what he's added. The game needed this. That's what I tried to say before. Do you need 2 sitting midfield players? You got this young lad on the bench. I wish I'd see him play every week. The kid's wonderful. Well done, Sarri.
Sarri celebrates by punching 2 fists into the air. Ruben Loftus-Cheek scores the 2nd goal for Chelsea, and you would think now that Fulham's hopes of getting back into this game are extinguished.
I would possibly say so, but that's what we want to see, isn't it? People who can do things that we only dream about doing. That outside of the foot back heel, and he kept spinning, and Hazard's skill to find him again. Pedro's involvement is excellent. If you think about what Pedro's won in the game, is magic. Is His cabinet with his medals in must be quite impressive to look at.
Here, just a bit. Here is Seri from distance, shooting from range, and it's again straight at goalkeeper Arrizabalaga, and it's an easy catch for him. So 8 minutes to go. Chelsea lead by 2-0. 7 minutes to go now, but they scored with 8 minutes remaining, and that surely has put pay to any Fulham revival. And
they've had a good second half, in fairness to Fulham. I think Claudio did the best he could at the moment. With who he's got, he made 2 good substitutions. Kamara particularly has made an impact down that side. But just the story of the game so far has been Loftus-Cheek coming on and linking up with Hazard. Wow. Just
a quick word on Alvaro Morata, who has earned himself a yellow card for a bit of a wrestling match with Alfie Mawson. That's not a great ball back. It's picked up by Pedro. Pedro running towards the edge of the area. He gets in towards the box, and it's cleared away by Pedro. And it's played up towards Aita and cleared out towards this near side. Producer Davis just told me that actually it was after wrestling with Mawson. That's not what he got booked for. It was afterwards. Then he kicked the ball away. And do you know, almost every yellow card that he got, and he got loads last season, Alvaro Morata, almost every yellow card that he picked up was for dissent.
Listen, I've said it at the start of our broadcast, they're very temperamental sometimes, a bit like racehorses. He's a striker.
Conte sending the ball back to David Luiz, and
he's frustrated because he's not scoring, or it's not going well at his current team, I think he's a fantastic footballer. It's
not doing bad. 7 goals already this season.
That's is it 7 or 6?
7. I think he's got a couple in the Europa League as well.
Yeah.
6 in the Premier League, I think it is. Here is Morata, come off the bench actually on Thursday night and scored. He's been fouled.
Yeah, but you get a feel if you're liked or if you're not liked, or
What did they say on the tube to you earlier? The Chelsea fans. Quickly taken onto Ruben Loftus-Cheek on the edge of the area. It's picked up by Azpilicueta. Back to Loftus-Cheek, who's bundled his way into the box, and he's robbed possession from Chambers, and he's hit the ball against the feet of Cyrus Christie out towards the far side. Now this is a game that Chelsea should have put away nice and early. They should have been home and hosed by the time we got to half-time. They allowed Fulham back into the match. The scoreline, when you see it later, will look as if Chelsea are completely, easily coasted through to 3 points here, but there were 2 big chances for Callum Chambers in the game, which, had they had not been spooned away by Arrizabalaga, it could have been very different.
I think Arrizabalaga has definitely got them these points, and I know that might sound crazy, but he has shown the sharpness consistently throughout this game to not have much to do and yet make 2 vital saves. And some of the... that was lovely, that.
Hazard dragged back and rolled to Azpilicueta, sends the ball into the box. Conte might get there first. He does. He's inside the area, but he can't find the final pass, and it's turned away, but won by Zappacosta on the right side, plays it against the defender and goes out for a throw-in on this near side. He played it against Cabano, and it goes out and away for a throw-in on the near touchline. Fulham got Leicester at home in midweek. It doesn't get any easier, because then it's Manchester United away, West Ham at home, Newcastle, Wolves, Huddersfield, Arsenal, all over the festive period.
Whoa. Where are the points coming from there? That's how it gets when you're on a run like this. And I'm so pleased for Claudio that he won last week.
Here's Kamara running beyond David Luiz.
He's done very well, hasn't he?
He has, since coming on, and may have earned himself a role in the team next week or next Tuesday. Chelsea may have lost their unbeaten record to Spurs last week, but they are very tricky to overcome here. Claudio Ranieri will know that, and he will go in. I think there'll be a degree of satisfaction about Claudio Ranieri's and his team's performance today.
Well, it could have been a lot worse, couldn't it, after going behind so early? But I thought the second half they've shown some promise.
Flick on by Kamara, looking for Mitrovic, who loses out but wins a corner. Maybe a late rally here from Fulham as Chelsea fans get up and decide that they've seen enough of the action and start to go down the stairways and out to the bottom of the east stand here. It's a long way down, actually. It takes a very long time to get out. Here is the cross from Seri, and it's just over the head of Mitrovic, who rose beautifully but couldn't get over the ball to head it down towards goal. And I think maybe a Chelsea player got a touch on that. It goes out for a throw-in over by the corner flag.
When you say it's a long way down, good gracious me, if we were on a ladder, Sam, how tall would that ladder be? It's hard to describe. We are up in the gods.
Well, right at the back of the east stand here, aren't we? And but it's such a great vantage point. You can see everything. Here is Chambers out towards the far side, and Christie's cross looking for Mitrovic. Mitrovic heads it down, and then it's only half cleared by Chelsea, and Mawson's got it back, and he'll send it into Adoy. Adoy clips it forward down the left, inviting Cabano to jump and win it, but Conte and Zappacosta combine to get it clear. Hazard tries to flick it through to Morata. Doesn't work. And you know what? Hazard may not have scored for 10 games, but if you go back through those 10 games and pick out the assists and vital contributions he's come up with, I mean, he's absolutely vital for Chelsea, and he's made another goal here today.
I have to say, I think he is one of the best players in the world at the moment, the little man. And what's nice, he doesn't seem to think he is. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't act like he is. You know, he still puts the shift in, doesn't he?
Well, that's for this manager, that's for sure.
Yeah, sometimes he's a little bit temperamental.
And he's actually quite a relaxed guy.
Something went wrong between him and Mourinho, I feel, after they won the title.
Something went wrong with a lot of them, and Antonio Conte as well, towards the end of that reign.
Yeah.
Here's Ruben Loftus-Cheek trying to squeeze through a tight gap, but it's given away. Kamara tries to get a cross in for Fulham. We're in the 89th minute of the match here at Stamford Bridge. It's 2-0 to Chelsea. Mitrovic is lurking inside the area, looking to get onto the end of a cross. Zappacosta manages to hoik it clear, and Conte is sprinting away, and Chelsea got 3-on-2, maybe 4-on-2 in their favour if they break quickly here. Conte stretched the ball wide to Pedro, maybe too wide. Pedro sends the ball into the area, and the header behind it away by Cabano, and it's out for a corner kick to Chelsea. May have made more of that, Chelsea.
Yeah, there's a few shrugs of the shoulders and a little bit, why didn't you give it to me, a little bit today, Sam. You know, I think because they started so well and they've had a little mini blip, I suppose, but, you know, I think that's hurt them last week against Tottenham. 6
away defeats in a row for Fulham, who have now conceded at least 2 goals in 12 of their 14 games.
Ouch.
3 minutes of added time at the end of the 90. That would be a concern for you, wouldn't it?
It's very concerning. You're trying to believe you can play at this level. You're trying to carry on the momentum that you had. And to be fair, there wasn't anybody with a better momentum than them when they went up last year.
And Chelsea getting a little bit of criticism from their own supporters for playing the ball backwards instead of forwards at this late stage of the game. Kamara has picked it up, and now he's running forwards. He's shooting from distance. Well, it would have been some effort to score from there. And he didn't. It was well wide, and it goes behind and away for a goal kick. Can Chelsea, who are winning here 2-0 and going to get all 3 points, actually turn round and say, look, you know, some of the reasons that we've been a bit lethargic today is because a couple of the players that have been out there today only played 62, 63 hours ago? Can that be an excuse?
No, I think it was more the manner of it. You know, they got a fantastic goal so early, and I think that was... And then their opponents lacked intensity to get around them, so they took too long to pass it. You can sometimes fall into a trap of taking too long to do things, Sam. So I don't really think it was they've only played that amount of games or they played that many minutes. I think it's more the way the game went and the attitude that is coming in this squad at the moment, which Siri's worried about. Have they got that oomph and that drive to go on and win this like he wants them to?
Yeah.
Are they telling each other enough? Have they got one too many defensive midfield players in there when they've got an array of talent like this? Do you know? This is the first time I've seen them live, and you know, Jorginho, fantastic player. Kante, do you need both of them?
Well,
do you know what I mean? Do you need both of them?
One they bought for over 40 million quid. The other one they've just given a 5-year contract worth 290 grand a week.
Well, yeah, you can force them in your team, but why don't you play with 2 centre-halves, two sitters, and get an extra forward in there? Why have you got to have a...
Is he wedded to that 4-3-3 formation?
Yeah, but you can. I mean, these players are good enough to play any formation.
They've given the ball away on the edge of their own penalty area.
4-2-3-1 is a little twist up of 4-3-3, Sam.
Here is Christie running towards the edge of the area. Left-footed shot, takes a deflection. It's another corner in injury time. And we've only got a minute or so to go. 18 points from 8 games this season for Chelsea.
It's impressive.
On home turf.
For a new man. Look where he's going. He can't go down there.
And Maurizio Sarri not happy. He's gone right down the length of the
I've been
touchline.
sent off before for going out of my area that far. What's going on here?
He's gone right down towards the corner flag to have a word with his team. It goes in towards the near post. Flicked on by
Where's
Mawson.
the fourth official?
And it goes out of play over on the far side and away for a goal kick. The fourth official just didn't batter an eyelid.
He's got to do his job. He can't let him go down there.
There's the full-time whistle. And Chelsea have got all 3 points. Ranieri's revival might not be as easy as he hoped. They rebounded back to life against Saints last week, but Fulham, well, they flatlined in the end at Chelsea. There was a brief flurry in the second half when they had 2 good chances, but not enough to trouble Arida Balaga. For Maurizio Sarri, it's a welcome return to winning ways after a setback at Spurs, but I suppose it's nothing more than they expected, and it could have been a lot better. It's finished at the Bridge. Chelsea 2, Fulham 0.